Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah Schauer, and this is another episode of Block Party, but today we're joined by...
Ricky Montgomery.
Yes, and Ricky you may know from Music Everywhere, but I actually knew of Ricky because Ricky was on Vine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been following each other since Vine.
We've been mutes.
Isn't that crazy?
2015?
Yeah. Ricky has considerably less amount of time, but he sent me a list of his interests, and I was like, what could we do that involves travel? And I actually got two of, it's kind of the same set, except one is double the pieces. Okay, so I'm going to surprise you, and you get to choose which one we build.
Okay. Excellent.
Close your eyes.
Okay, my eyes are closed. I was really curious what you were going to do because I thought to myself, man, I don't really have any hobbies or interests, and I'm kind of like a generally boring guy, so...
Yeah, I think you have more interesting thing. All right, open your eyes.
Okay. Oh, man. Oh, nice.
They're both London.
They're both London.
I saw that you were in the UK for a tour, and you said that travel is one of your interests. This one is about double the pieces, and then this one we could do in your allotted amount of time. But feel free to take both of them home.
You know, first of all, I am a British citizen as well, so
you
didn't know that, but that's a nice little coincidence.
Oh, also just take these.
Yeah. Okay.
You can choose which one you want to do.
I will. This is like a Fisher Price Lego set. I just want to show maybe the set.
It's the postcard sets.
That's cute. I see how that's a postcard set. Well, I'm gonna go for it.
The big guy?
I want to do it.
Okay.
Because I have been to London many times.
Wait, so how are you a British citizen though?
My father was born in England. And then my dad's side is from England. So I inherited it. Yeah. I inherited my citizenship.
That is crazy.
You can do it with England.
I didn't know that you could do it. My partner is from Poland, and so they have Polish, Canadian, and American citizenship.
Polish, Canadian, and American. That's pretty cool. That's tri-citizen.
Yeah, I don't know how Canada comes into play, but they have it.
They got a citizenship over there in Canada?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Good for them.
It's actually surprisingly easy to get Canadian citizenship.
Is it?
I don't know. I just made that up. Canadians who have moved there, let us know. But
I would be remiss. I'm trying to use that phrase a little bit more. If I didn't mention also my girlfriend is a tri-citizen too.
Oh my God.
She's she actually just got U.S. citizenship. She was born in Brazil, so I've been to Brazil with her family, and then Switzerland.
Oh wow.
Swiss, Brazilian, American.
That is incredible.
The hardest one to get, folks, right here in America. Don't let them tell you it's easy. I've seen it firsthand.
Exactly.
No way.
Also, I just want to interject. This is a set where you have to open all the bags at once.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to be just a clump of Legos.
Unlike some of your other guests, I have made many, many Lego sets in my life.
Really?
Which is why I went for the big one.
Yeah, you're very confident in your ability.
Not really, but I know that I have experience. I love, by the way, that it seems like everybody on your podcast has been either diagnosed with autism or soon will be, and I recently was.
Oh my God!
So high functioning autism. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, the pattern continues.
Yeah, no, it's important, but the reason I bring it up is because it's like the most challenging thing ever for like a neurodivergent folk to come in and do. Oh
yeah, I've really set people up to fail. My co-host for the BCC club, Kendall, she has ADHD, and it's really bad that she could not talk and build at the same time. So when we were interviewing, we'd have to pause so she could build it. And I totally understand that. So I have the utmost faith in you. The only guest, I've had Snitchery on, and her episode is coming out today, and she has ADHD. And then Chrissy, who's another musician, her episode is coming out next week.
Nice.
She told me that she relates heavily to people with ADHD, but never been diagnosed, you know? So you just got...
I've heard that one before.
Exactly. I want to dive into the autism diagnosis.
Oh, yeah.
But I also want to circle back to the Vine stuff originally.
Yes,
it is incredible to see your pivot from comedy to music.
Thank you very much.
How was that journey?
That journey was one of pain and struggle and not a lot of money. Well, Sarah, as you know, I was once a Viner, as you were.
Yeah.
It was never like I have not, in my mind, pivoted from anything. Is the truth. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and it was very, very boring there, as you might imagine. I feel like you're from like a smaller town kind of place too, right?
Yeah, I'm from Greenville, South Carolina.
There we go. Yeah, I was born in LA, and my mom moved to Missouri, and so I kind of just like hated it there all the time and was constantly looking to escape. I always did music. I've been in bands since I was like 14 years old, playing bar shows and such. And honestly, when Vine came out, I was like that toxic teenage boy. I was 19, and I was like, this could be my like new environment online to create a music account for myself and like come into a big or a small pond as a bigger fish and
Yeah.
I had that, grind set attitude from the beginning. Anyway, so I always saw it as like a music platform for me. Mm-hmm. And I grew up, as maybe you did, watching and loving stand-up.
Oh, yeah.
My dad worked in television as a gaffer. So he did like lighting for TV shows and stuff.
Okay.
And like all his coolest shows he worked on were like before I was born, and then it was like a slow decline. But he worked on like Seinfeld when I was like, I guess not born, or maybe like baby. So I always loved stand-up and comedy and stuff, and I think it just kind of felt like a natural thing to make. So I think I got distracted by comedy online, and then eventually, years later, I decided to kind of take music more seriously, which was the original goal. So I think instead of, pivoting, it was more of like two things in parallel. And eventually along the way, I was like, you know what? I'm still broke. I've been at this for a while. I should focus on just one, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a Nepo baby superpowers. So maybe I should just kind of sit back and hone in. And then I did. And here we are.
I mean, if you wanted to get into gaffing, you do have Nepo baby status.
I wish. I tried to. Mm-hmm. I did try to work in a lighting union, but first of all, my father died when I was 15 years old, and so that was terrible for my career. But also, whenever I tried to move back to LA when I was 18, instead of going to college, and they literally said, "Don't work in lighting." It's all different now because that was like the first writer's strike you mentioned in every podcast. Now the SAG strike, because like,
I'm sorry.
It's good. Solidarity with the strikers. We should all be striking, Mm-hmm. But no, that was the first one, 2007. If you don't know, viewers, in 2007 there was a similar strike called the writer's strike of 2007. I'm paraphrasing, but anyway, that first one, he was out of work there, and then after that, like the industry changed a lot, and a lot of the work that was based in LA became like based in like other like North Carolina or like
like Wilmington.
Exactly, yeah, all other places. And so they said to me, my deserved Nepo baby status was taken from me because they were like, if you want to work in this industry, you're gonna have to like move every couple of years, and it's going to be a terrible life. So, I wanted to be a Nepo baby in the lighting industry, but alas, I had to pave my own way.
I do think I don't know if it's funny, but you know how a lot of parents discourage young people from following creative dreams?
Yes, of course.
It's interesting that they would be like, no, don't even get into lighting. Like, it's just a minefield. Yeah. It's just like moving to like the Big Apple to become like the big name in lighting, and you just go home with like your suitcases in hand. But
that's what it was like.
Yeah, exactly.
It was sad. It was a disappointment. I did gas that up in my head for years.
Yeah.
They told me at his funeral and everything, they're like, anytime you need a job, bro, you come to us.
Yeah.
And then I did, and dark days.
Well,
anyway.
Yeah, I'm very sorry about that dream being dashed, and also your father as well.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. He's fine.
I do have a question. Kendall's father has also passed, and she's very casual about it. Do you get are you like at the point where like people are like, oh, I'm sorry, or just like, let's just power through the conversation?
Yeah. I've been here for It's 11:02. We're already talking about my dead father.
Well, no, we don't have to talk about anything about him. I'm saying like
I'm just kidding.
Sometimes people have things that are traumatic happen that they like casually talk about, and it's just because it's so casual to them, and other people are hearing it for the first time, and so it's like,
totally.
What would be your ideal reaction to those stories? Just kind of laugh and like move on? No,
I mean, it's a good question. I am joking. I don't think that I have an ideal reaction. I think that for me, in my case, I was 15 and I am 30 now. And so it's literally, I actually just got to the point where it's like the halfway point in my life, which will actually officially be in like January. So I think at this point, it is just such a part of like, for lack of a better word, like my personality. That like, it's kind of just like a feature, It's, I don't really conceive of it as like an event in a way anymore, to some degree. So I don't know. I don't know that I have like any reaction myself. It's more like, of course I understand like it's a sad thing to say out loud and all that. But I don't know. I don't really think that deeply about it. I guess. Is the answer. So I don't really. It is kind of fun to have fun with it sometimes. To like say like, well, my dad, this or that. And to like kind of sometimes like you're a comic, so you get like the kind of like putting people into like slightly uncomfortable positions is like just for a few seconds. It's kind of fun, and like I get that out of it. But I don't know. Nothing else really happens with that. It's just kind of something that I say, and then people get a little sad and quiet, and then I find a little chipper way to, juke my way out of the conversation. Okay, well, that is what I was wondering, because my father's yet to go, so I didn't know how I should prepare for this type of conversation in the future. I'm sorry, Dad. He's not watching this. But, okay, yes, moving back to your girlfriend, who is Brazilian. And she has both Swiss and Brazilian and now American citizenship. Does she speak Portuguese? And I think there's a couple, is it French in Switzerland? I think it's German, right? Oh, I think it's half and half. I think it's several things. And I only know that because her dad is the Swiss one, and he speaks a bunch of languages. Nerd. She does speak Portuguese. That is incredido. It's hard. It's actually a really confusing language to hear out loud because they got all these weird pronunciations for things. Oh, yeah. Like her middle name is Tristão. You guys say it like that. It's like there's like an Tristão. Oh, shit. It's like an sound. That's like just a normal syllable for them. That is incredible. Like my partner speaks Polish, and that's like one of the hardest languages. If you've ever looked at it. Is it? Yeah, it's just Polish. It's okay. Like I tried to learn some cute phrases, and I just got so genuinely upset. What's like a Polish phrase? I can't say anything. You can't even say like, what is like yes? I don't know. You don't know what yes? What is there nothing at all? No, I'm bad. Oh wow. I feel so bad. Do you speak another language? No. I do know a few words in Portuguese, which I am currently forgetting all of. But my dad. Wait, so what's yes in Portuguese? Oh no, I know this. It's sim. It's like C, like in Spanish, but there's like a at the end. It's spelled S-I-M, so okay. Sim. It's like a very subtle. You're like you have to like end your syllables like halfway through, like an NG sound. Yeah. So like it's like sim. Like if you were to say the word sing, it's like you cut off that little syllable at the end. Mm-hmm. So there you go. Hell yeah. Yeah, I could do it. See, I knew yes off the dome there for you. Okay, cool. But let's talk a little bit more about the music. Yes. So your first album came out, what year was it? 2016. Okay. And that was while you were on Vine. Yes. Did you, the audience that you built from comedy, how did they respond to your first album? Well, I already had an EP out by then. That was it came out in 2014. And my trajectory, kind of professionally after college, I went to Mizzou, which is a school in Missouri. Mm-hmm. And then I was offered an internship, long story short, at Adult Swim with my friend Nick Gallo. Shout out to Nick Gallo, also a Viner. And then I put out like my little EP at the end of that internship because all my bosses got laid off and they were shutting that branch down. So like, I dropped out of college just to watch a bunch of people get fired. Mm-hmm. And that charted on iTunes. Mm-hmm. And so that was, pretty successful for me at the time. I had like, I went from 0 to like a few thousand listeners in a day. And I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. Because I always felt more confident in music than in comedy. That was always something I thought that I was just better at. Mm-hmm. And so I pursued it, and I moved back to Missouri right after living in New York for 6 months, which was not fun. Put out that record, and so the whole time, like my like core audience was like pretty dialed into the music. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't necessarily think they were surprised by it. There probably were a few people that like just knew me from like doing vines and stuff. Mm-hmm. But they got with the program.
Yeah,
they're still around. I think maybe not, but well, they'll be back.
That is like a really like a nice transition. I feel like with comedy and Legos, I've kind of like, I'm having a clunky time fusing them right now. But a lot of people are like getting on board. They're trying to understand, which is nice. Thankfully, I built a pretty solid base of autistic people.
Sure, yes.
So they're interested in a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this is a natural end for me to bring up my girlfriend's newest interest, which is a slime.
Oh, yeah.
She's gotten deep into slime, and I made the mistake of buying some for her for the first time. And now it's just, I opened the slime gates, and our whole house is just slime this, slime that. Mm-hmm. So, just deep, very autistic household. All of our pets are autistic. It's
contagious.
It's contagious.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that, but it is true.
Well, I mean, are your pets vaccinated?
No.
Okay, well then.
Sadly, we're anti-vax too, so autism spread like wildfire through our home.
So anti-vax.
This is all a joke. I just want to make sure I say that out loud.
Well, I mean, my audience is actually very literal, so thank you for clarifying.
I thought, mine too.
I pitched a song to Chrissy, another musician who was on here, and she was so nice. When you can tell someone's like, I don't want to hear this right now, but they're going along. Because she has like a very much like pop vibe. And so I was like, you love being a queen. You get stoned, you're queening out. And she's like, yeah, work, slay. And I was like, you don't have to. Like, you don't have to.
Queening out, yeah. No, for sure. That's a great phrase that more people should say.
Definitely. Have you ever had that happen where someone is like, this would be a great song, and you're like,
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It never gets easy. I'm like a toxic people pleaser. Mm-hmm. So
that's why you're here.
That's why I'm here. I was like, I can't say no.
You actually have like a flight in like 2 hours.
Block party. So yeah, I'll sit there and I'll hear them out, and in my head I'm like, I don't have to do this. I've gotten therapy for this. I don't have to sit here. I've got the tools to say no in a polite way, but I never do it. I just sit there and I listen to their terrible ideas. Mm-hmm.
I do love the idea of they are talking to you very passionately, and you're spending half the conversation hyping yourself up like, it is okay for me to leave right now,
It's honestly more true than I would like to admit. But that's the life, baby.
Exactly, the life of a musician. Do you believe that people-pleasing can be somewhat manipulative?
Oh, yeah, of course. I fight against that every day, Do you find that you get that with comedy? People pitching you bits and jokes and stuff?
Yeah. Not so much anymore. I really mainly pitch to other people.
Right.
I get to them before they can get to me. And like, it's so unhelpful. A lot of my friends are comedians, and when they go up and perform, like afterwards, this is not helpful. I'm like, hey dude, I love that joke, but like, have you, like this part you could also like expand upon,
That's good. I mean, that seems like a helpful thing to do. Like if a musician did that with me, I'd be like, oh, cool. Yeah. I would say cool, but I'd also be like, okay, but like, I can't use that because like people are very like, once there's money in the room,
Yeah.
everybody wants 10% publishing for, changing like one word in the song or something.
Oh yeah.
Which, does happen sometimes, but I digress.
It's your second album.
My second album.
When did that come out?
Well, it hasn't come out yet. As today, as you know, is September 26th.
Mm-hmm.
The day this is coming out on the internet. Also, the day it was recorded.
Yes.
September 26th. And on September 29th, Rick, the second album from Ricky Montgomery, will finally hit shelves.
Mm-hmm.
Spotify, Apple Music, etc. Yes, it's a long time coming. It's taken me more years to make than I would like to say out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And we finally got here. It's time.
Hell yeah. Is there anything you can tell us about the album?
It was the first album that I made like as a person at a major label.
Mm-hmm.
And so that came with like a lot of really strange challenges. Some of which after, more than one media training session, I probably shouldn't say on a podcast live, but like it's the first time that I've had like the resources to make like, I don't know, like a proper album.
Yeah.
Like the one that you like, you think you're going to make your whole life. Like, maybe like the thing for you would be like your first big like Netflix special or whatever it would be.
Yeah.
Like that budget is there, like the structure is behind you. So, I'm going to be learning in real time in front of the audience how to release one of those, I suppose.
Okay.
And we'll see.
Does your team have a full like plan when it comes to interviews? Is like how many media outlets, I guess, or, podcasts are you scheduled to go to promote it?
Well, not enough.
Really?
I mean, no, but like, we don't have a set number now. I think it really like stuff like this, obviously that like my friends like will DM me for like, are my favorite ones to do. And so I don't know with me, I think because of my, my background where like I already have built an audience prior, I think they can kind of lean on me and they kind of would prefer to, I suppose, to lean on me for like finding them either on my own or through management. So I don't know. We're kind of going with the flow here. There's not like a ton that we have scheduled, or there's a couple we've already done and pre-recorded, but it's just kind of, we take it day by day. It's a less organized environment than you'd expect.
Also, I'm missing pieces.
You're missing pieces.
Oh my God.
Are we building the same thing?
We are, yeah.
That's what I thought. I remember that from the previous ones. Our processes are a lot different, and you're more experienced right now than I am with this. So I feel like I don't have OCD, but I have like a thing that's like close. It's like a different acronym version of it. I wish I could remember what it was, but I think that's manifesting for me right now, where I'm like, I have to organize everything first.
Yeah.
So I can easily reference it when it's time to build. But you're already like
building.
You're like 10-15% done already.
I totally understand that. The great thing about if we would have chosen the postcard set is that it does come in numbered steps. So that probably would have been considerably better for you. But we went the hard route. I haven't done this type of set in a while where they all come in a bag and you just empty them out at once. The only other one where I've done this is the Doctor Who set.
Okay, cool.
Do you watch Doctor Who?
No. I wish I could say otherwise, but I do not. I just never got into Doctor Who. I don't really know why. It's
just one of those shows that it takes forever to get caught up on. It's like when someone recommends like Grey's Anatomy, you're like, you have to like weigh like, it's probably great, but like I don't want to do this, Yeah,
no, there's only so many shows you can watch. Mm-hmm. Choose your own adventure in this life for your content,
Exactly. So what are you spending your time doing? If you said that you don't have a lot of interests or hobbies.
Well, I think the sad thing is that all I do right now is I work and I go home and I play Baldur's Gate 3 with my girlfriend until at least at latest 4 a.m. Usually no later than 1.
What time?
Last night it was 1.
Yeah. What time do you get up?
I usually try to wake up around 9, but depends on the day. I wish I woke up earlier, but I just don't. And I don't care anymore. You know? I think I'm one of those types of people who was like, my ancestors were like the ones that like stayed up late watching for wolves and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I've decided that's true. And I've used that to justify my entire lifestyle. You are so fast. What the hell? Damn. All right. I'm going to hurry up here.
Oh, you don't. This is just how I do.
Well, it's very impressive. And
but I'm kind of scared because it makes people nervous.
I don't get nervous anymore.
You don't?
What's the point?
What is your resting heart rate?
Hold on. I don't know.
Okay.
I used to know because I had like really chronic panic attacks, and so I would actually be able to give you that answer at another time in my life. But normal, I don't know, a little slow.
I actually don't. I mean, a little slow is, I was reading this study on sociopaths, and their heart rate is generally very low.
Oh.
Because they don't experience anxiety like most. I mean, like they do kind of, maybe, but it's like they don't feel those anxious racing thoughts. So they're incredibly calm all the time.
My A&R at, this was just like your like label contact, the guy who's like your cheerleader at the label. He told me, and it's interesting that he told me this because he works at a major label, the way that you know when somebody is not a sociopath is if they have panic attacks and anxiety attacks, because sociopaths don't.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's true, but he said that and it makes sense to me.
Well, I mean, there's a lot more to sociopathy, but a lot of the reason why you don't so much care is because you put yourself in dangerous situations is just to feel that anxiety spike at least once, because you're like such at a naturally calm baseline that's why you may engage in more risky behaviors just to feel some sort of spark of anxiety. But yeah, that is true. They typically don't have traditional panic attacks as most of us do. But yeah, you used to have crippling anxiety and now you're normal. Yeah,
now I'm normal. I'm cured, totally cured. I am now a perfect boy.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, it just took time, really.
And medication or just time?
Oh, I'm on medication for sure.
Okay, yeah.
I don't take right now I actually just got upgraded to XRs for Adderall. Thank you very much. Changed from instant release, got diagnosed with ADHD 2021 recently. Actually, when I got signed, I realized I could not do my job if I did not have Adderall.
Oh, yeah.
So that streamlined a lot of stuff for me. Also having more money to spend on medicine.
Oh, yeah.
I was on Prozac for a bit. But I found that all it really did for me was just kind of like take it all away, just kind of like made me into nothingness.
Like a shell of a human.
Yeah, just that's just what it did for me. Like I didn't feel like it was providing me relief, which it does for a lot of people, and it's very good for them. But for me, it was more just like I just don't feel creative when I'm on SSRIs. So, yeah. What else do I do?
Tell me about your medical history. You know?
What else? What's wrong with me?
You totally don't.
No, I'm curious. I'm trying to remember.
Well, I mean, you've basically cured your anxiety, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And I feel like
just through talent and will.
Just will it away.
Yep.
So guys, if you have anxiety, just stop.
Just pray and think about what if you didn't have it.
Yeah.
And then make a little bit more money than you have right now. And then that's basically all it takes.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is a very easily to replicate formula.
Yeah.
And if you guys just get off your lazy asses.
Get back to work.
And chill out.
Go to the office. You need that commute. That's what gets you ready for the day.
Mm-hmm. That's what I always say.
These are all jokes. We stand with the writer's strike and the Screen Actors Guild. I do have SAG health insurance, so that's another reason why I appreciate you. Your platform and your respect for the worker.
What is how did you get that? Or are you part of SAG?
I'm not. My mom is.
Oh.
She was a commercial actor.
You said that you weren't a Nepo baby, but you are.
Well, if you can count like a person that did like a little bit of background acting as like a nepo person, then totally.
Oh yeah.
No offense to my mom, you know, she's a teacher now. It didn't work. Mm-hmm. I love my mom. She's about to retire, and she just did retire. But anyway, I do have that. My mom kept it because she shouldn't be on SAG. I think she still pays union dues and stuff. Mm-hmm. But the reason she stays on is because, and I quote, "I like the screeners." That's what she says.
Oh yeah, because she gets free.
She gets screeners. That's the only reason. She's stayed on for like 20 years just for that reason.
So for everyone who doesn't know, like you get sent like films at like ahead of time if you're like a member of like SAG, or you get like you just have a large collection of films. Or does she get TV shows as well?
No, she just gets movies like every like Oscar season. That's all it comes down to. And I've said to her like, you know, we are not rich, Mom. You should probably consider not doing that. And she's like,
yeah,
I like it.
I mean,
there you go.
If she, it's hers, you know?
It is hers. It makes her happy, and that's enough.
Mm-hmm. Wait, no. So, okay, let's circle back to your second album.
Sure.
Do you have a theme to this album?
Kind of. So it's called Rick, mm-hmm. which is both my dad's name. So it's like kind of like being an adult growing up without, you know, one of your parents is like part of it. It's not the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Mostly, it's just been like a really long time since I put an album out at all. And I mean, your name's Sarah, so like I imagine there was never a period where you had like a nickname, like a childish version of a nickname.
Yeah,
you know,
well, I mean,
like Sari.
Last name was Schauer, and I was blonde.
Okay.
So the nickname was Golden Shower.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's kind of brutal.
I know.
How early did that start?
Middle school. I don't even know what it meant in middle school.
They knew what that was in middle
school? The boys did.
Yeah, they would, huh?
I did, and I just thought it was like a really cute thing. And then
oh man. Yep. You did?
Yep.
Did you like run with it for a while not knowing?
Yeah, like it was like a really like cute.
Oh no.
Keep going. Yeah, so
no, tell me
No, it's just
way more interesting.
The boys knew so much before me. I remember one time it was this group of boys who would call me Golden Shower, and then I remember my parents came to pick me up or something one time. This is like a separate thing, and I was packing up my backpack, and I could hear the front office talking to the teacher on the phone, like telling me to like go down to the office, and I like not yelled, but I kind of loudly said to the teacher, I'm coming. All the boys, that group of boys were like, she's coming, and I was like, what does that mean? Because I didn't know, and then they always did that stuff to me. It's okay.
They sniff out the neurodivergence.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't. Yeah, I was moderately well liked, I guess.
I believe it.
Yeah, but Rick, his name was Richard.
Yes, Rick. I appreciate you continuing to get me on task because I'm so much more interested in your life. But I have something to market today. Mm-hmm. Rick. So I am called Ricky. It's my name that I go by, that I've gone by since I was a little boy. Mm-hmm. I remember if your name is Ricky, which, you know, some amount of the population is, there's a point in your life where you consider becoming Rick. Mm-hmm. It's just the way. It's just one of the laws of nature. And I remember in middle school, I was in like 8th grade, and I changed schools in 7th grade, which I do not recommend, especially different regions of the United States. I moved from LA to Missouri, which is a lot different culturally. Mm-hmm. So a lot of bullies and stuff. But I remember wanting to change my name to Rick, and then I just was a coward, and I wrote it down, and I went no, and I added a Y back on, and I just couldn't, and I never tried again. I never became Rick. And so for me, I did quit music for a while, and because of money, and I worked in marketing, which, you know, one of my media training things was like, don't talk about the marketing job, people don't care. So but I did that for a long time.
Oh, really? They don't care? How did they I'm sorry, I'll ask later. But yeah, you did that for a long time. And
I, I'm trying to find one little piece. Damn it. Darn it. I'm I know. Anyway, it was awkward for me to kind of go back into my solo project when I got big on TikTok, because I had like a TikTok moment and I had no music ready for my solo project at all when I got signed. I had like a couple songs for my band ready. The Honey Sticks is the name of the band, and so it was like awkward to go back into this kind of shell of myself, like that I had not put music out under like my solo project in like at that time 4.5 years. And so it was awkward in the same way that it's awkward to like, change your name. And like, it's like you kind of like have to like pretend to be a certain guy for, a long time until people allow you to have a new name.
Yeah.
That was, I was kind of drawing the parallel with the name Rick to that experience. Cause like I was 27 when I got signed, which you realize a lot of people that have deals, have industry connections, for a soft way to put that. So to both not really have that, at least in music, as we know. If I was to get into commercial acting or gaffing, man, I'd be running the whole town.
Exactly.
In music, I did not, and so it was awkward to kind of like feel like I belonged there for a long time. So this is like the first album back, and I'm kind of like putting the suit back on. It's like my tuxedo isn't tailored yet, kind of thing, and I'm walking in like, hello everyone, I'm an artist now. And so that's kind of what it's felt like to put this album out, and that's what I was trying to express with the name Rick.
It is really an unusual feeling of going from creating like alone in your room, and then, I mean, even just a manager's a funky adjustment at first.
Yeah.
But then going to venues and they see you, this like blob, and they're taking you seriously.
Yeah.
And it's different for like comedy and music, but it's also a very similar feeling. It's like, wow, like I guess this is real. So but people are taking me seriously, and so it's just a unusual shift.
What was that like for you with stand-up? Because like part of this experience for me, this podcast, is like I did watch your career happen, and like I remember like, hearing about you, like, because you had like a really cool moment, at least from my perspective, because I was a Viner for like 2 years by the time that you were kind of blowing up. I think is a fair word to use, or a phrase to use. And you had mentioned that you had people around you that were wisely telling you to like, do open mics effectively in front of strangers, which is such great advice. And what was that like for you? That's a really fascinating thing too.
Like, it's weird because basically I feel like a lot of my content is already primed for stand-up. It's not so like much a visual gag. I get actually the zooming in on the face was just...
Well, that was first of all, that was our era. I remember when that started happening.
Yeah.
That was like early 2015.
Yeah.
It was like with an iPhone update.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like they like give us so much flack, these kids, for the zoom in, the millennial zoom in thing. But like it was just a new feature on the phone at one point that we were experimenting with. And you know what? It was funny. All right? It was hilarious. You weren't there.
I think it's like how people see like SNL in the 70s versus like SNL today. If you think it's funny or not, that's up to you. But like you'll like watch SNL from the 70s and you're like, this is not funny.
Yeah.
But then you have to realize the context is that this is the first time people are making jokes like this.
Totally.
So at the time it was funny, but now it's been beaten into the ground that
it was
like
just like SNL in the 70s.
Yes.
Vine.
Exactly, and I was the Chevy Chase, just a absolute.
Oh man!
No, horrible. No, not Gilda. Rest in peace. But I don't even want to. But yeah, it was kind of weird. Thankfully, I feel like since I have like almost 10 years of material from the internet that can just be repurposed into jokes.
Yes.
They work. I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty easy transition. The only thing I really had to I struggled with was stage fright.
Sure.
And then also pacing. On the internet, you're just supposed to keep talking.
Right, yeah.
And so, like, it's very unnatural to pause in the middle of a story.
That's really interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
I took one improv semester at UCB before they shut down the office in, like, in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because, like, that was, like, the one useful note that I got was, like, you kind of just keep talking.
Yeah.
You just like less.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. It was like a total light bulb moment for me just to like say fewer words. And like, I never realized that was like an internet, like a learned internet thing. That's very true.
Yeah. Cause I mean, the internet, Vine was 6 seconds because we all have like short attention spans. So you just have to get it all out there. I think what was shocking for me was that if I repurposed a joke from the internet and I told it on stage, and I'm supposed to just, since I don't know when to pause, like just when laughter starts, and the laughter would start at the most unusual part in the joke, and I'm like, this is the part that caught everyone online, you know?
Right.
Like I didn't expect that to be the hook of this at all.
Interesting.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
Do you ever feel like that with like your like music? Like you,
oh yeah.
I mean, you had that one song, blanking on the name, that blew up on TikTok.
It's called Mr. Loverman. There's actually 2 of them.
Yeah.
But 100%. That's a great analogy, actually, because when those songs blew up, they were not, anything that blew up on TikTok for me was not a single at all, was not a song I marketed at all. This is true of all of them. Oh no, did I do this wrong?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, hold on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yep.
Courtney, keep this in. Zoom in on the stress.
My songs that
Yes.
did well on TikTok, the app, were not, none of them were singles. And so that was like a huge surprise for me, both because like at the time I was like so over all those songs. And, like, they were years in the past. I wasn't even playing them live most of the time. But then all of a sudden they were like by far my biggest material of my entire life, and perhaps now my entire legacy. And so it was very weird to get used to. At this point, maybe same for you. Like I just kind of smile and nod, and like I'm just happy to be here. You know? Happy to still be around. I haven't been one of these amazing Viners who like has a job again. God rest their souls. It is weird. Yes.
Yeah. I feel like with musicians, it may, specifically with memes that blow up, it's always like now there's that format of taking a line from the song and like turning it into like a joke that's not necessarily has something to do with the actual song itself. But I mean, yours, I don't think people were making jokes out of any sort of the lyrics that you posted. I just imagine it would be, were you the one who posted that this song originally to TikTok and then it just took off in a way that you didn't expect, or some individual user like uploaded the audio because they thought it would be like great for their video and that's how it took off?
That's a great question because I actually don't really know. I was not posting. I gave up posting, at that time. I didn't. My whole bit was I didn't have a TikTok account at that time. Like it was my bio was I don't have a TikTok, and so I would just kind of like here and there like poke my head in and be like, "Thank you guys for all the love on the song. I might get a TikTok account at some point in the future, but I still don't have one." And I would do that for like a couple months, and then I realized like, oh wait, actually what it was Donald Trump. If you know, Donald Trump was a former president of the United States of America, and more importantly, a talk show host.
Exactly, yeah.
Anyway, he was going to get rid of TikTok, if you recall. Was going to ban the app. And at that point, that's when I was finally like, you know what? Oh, I should probably get ahead of this TikTok moment with my song. And so then I started like kind of like putting my face in front of it. So it blew up first. And then I got my act together and started to, to do that. Then it all coalesced into a beautiful label deal eventually. You
did briefly say like you gave up. I feel like that's really interesting for a lot of Viners is that there's that lull period of giving up. And this is even like, it kind of reminds me of like tiny bit of like Drew Gooden.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yep.
When Vine ended, I remember we went to the Shorty Awards and we just all like happened to meet up, and he was talking about like, this is before he blew up on YouTube. He was just, like, I don't know what to do now, and then he again like blew up on YouTube. And I feel like for me, like Vine ended, I went to a 9 to 5 and then I started YouTube. and then it just like blew up again. So it is such a like incredible feeling to be like, oh, I didn't think that this would happen.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Drew's a great example because he was one of those guys that like just like really put his head down and like just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do this YouTube grind and just trust that it will work. And then it did.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I remember the beginning. Oh man, just reliving the glory days here on this podcast.
Do you have a bus?
Sometimes. Depends. Do you have a bus when you tour?
No, we didn't have a bus. I did live in an RV for a while though.
You did?
Yeah.
Why? What happened with that?
My parents are pretty well off, but they didn't share their money with their kids, but they also liked RV living. And so we would, the last time I lived with my parents in RV was between the summer of senior year of high school and freshman year of college. 3 months. My brother was already at college. My sister was at church camp the entire summer.
Sick.
I know. And my parents worked during the day and I worked at IHOP at night. So we would never see each other, but I had my own little space above the driver's seat where I'd sleep, and I'd had all my bedroom. It was about
cool,
2 feet tall.
Is it cool?
No. Living with your parents in an
RV?
RV?
That would be really hard. Well, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
That you lived in a well-off RV, I guess. I don't know how to properly conceptualize that, but it does sound sad.
It was just a little bit cramped. You know?
Yeah, it was an RV.
Yeah. But I mean, luckily I didn't live there for long that time. But my brother lives in an RV, and he's a physical therapist, and he travels around the U.S. with his fiance in an RV.
Well, that's kind of... Is it cool? Is it cool?
I don't know. I mean, it's a really nice RV, but...
What does that mean? Like, what makes an RV nice?
Like, you ever seen like a really like, I don't know, like the pop outs, you know, and there's like a second floor.
Like on the side where it pops out on the side.
Yeah. I
just got my first bus that did that, so I do know that now. And sometimes for the viewer, when you go and you're in a bus on a tour, I didn't realize this until a few months ago, but sometimes they have what Sarah just described as like a pop-out feature, where like the front of the bus, the lobby, if you will, by the driver, it will expand width-wise. And I didn't know that our bus did that. And I got up, as one does in the morning and in the bus, which I guess you said you didn't do that, or you haven't done that yet, but you will. And you'll remember this conversation when you do.
Yes.
Anyway, you get up, there's like a little terrible sink you're not supposed to like take any water from because it's dirty.
Yes.
But you'll like have a water bottle and like pour it onto your toothbrush, and you'll, in front of everybody, brush your teeth.
Yes.
But I just woken up, and then like I looked back after I brushed my teeth, and I was like startled to see that like the little table where people sit at was like way further away from me than before, and I didn't know why.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to say it out loud in case I was wrong.
Yeah.
So I just I looked behind me and went, am I getting smaller or something? It was really like an existential moment for me.
Yeah.
Where like I literally felt tiny.
Yeah.
For like a few minutes, and then I found out that it expands, and so I was able to be like, oh my God, thank God. I thought I was having like a weird mental crisis.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just started doing the new fancy buses.
Hell yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I was thinking that you were going to say like the button for the pop out you thought was like the garbage disposal. You're like, weird. Oh, no. It's getting farther away from me. But
yeah, they don't let us handle the garbage disposal.
They really?
No way. Too advanced.
No, I totally understand. But yeah, it's kind of, RVs are crazy, dude. I think people who live in RVs with children are abusive and horrible people.
For sure. Yeah. I didn't want to say that.
Yeah.
Because it's your... but yeah, that sounds correct.
No, yeah. I think I think it's a cool thing if you're like an individual or a couple, to like travel the U.S. in like a bus or RV. But saddling kids to that's just...
Yeah.
That's just messed up. But,
no, for sure. Why did your family do that? Was it just by preference or what? Because you said they were well off. You made sure to clarify it wasn't financial.
Yeah, like because I mean, a lot of people would assume like you live in some variation of a trailer because like that's what you can afford.
Yeah, yeah. And my mom grew up in a trailer park, so my family like
you can allude to them.
Well, I can remember the stories they would tell about that lifestyle and stuff, and like it's like for our family is like we came from the trailer park in Kentucky and now you're in Hollywood and you better not mess this up. They don't say that to me, but like I feel that spiritually. But anyway, yeah. So you said it was like by choice. I guess.
They just they love the call of the wild. I actually don't understand it because like my parents are very they're like grumpy people, and like I feel like if I knew that I was easily triggered by being in close proximity to my family, I would choose every activity that does not involve being in close proximity with my family. Any opportunity to go on a cruise and be in a tiny little cabin,
yes,
or a car road trip, or a tight airplane and get us all seats together, they just went for it. I don't understand why. They just want us in close proximity to like make us lose our minds.
Yeah, that does sound very challenging.
We lost my dad in Arizona for a couple days.
For a couple days?
Well, he we moved from California to South Carolina. We were driving the RV across the country. We had like 2 cats, a dog, my brother, my sister.
In the RV?
Me, yeah. We also had my elderly aunt who was driving my dad's van.
How big is his RV?
Behind us. No, she was driving the car. And so we were just everywhere, like screaming and stuff like that. And then occasionally my aunt would call and she'd be like, guys, we have to pull over. I peed myself again. And so my dad got so pissed off in Arizona that like he just went missing for a little bit and then came back. And we finished driving across the country.
My God.
Yeah.
You got to have one of those like A&E style interviews about your life. How they have like what was the guy that got canceled? Charlie Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, whoever becomes the non-problematic analog to Charlie Rose for the new generation should interview you about your RV background. Yeah,
it would just... God, RVs are so traumatic to talk about.
We don't have to talk about it.
This is my trauma, but... No, yeah, it's a not for everyone.
You're supposed to turn these now? Sometimes Lego directions are like... weirdly conceptual,
Yeah, I actually am kind of sad because when the person I used to live next door to, she designed Lego sets.
Oh, that's cool. I was gonna ask how this became a thing for you. Is that part of it?
No, it's just the autism. I got like my brain just latched onto it because I was like, this is so cool. I use that word so loosely, but no, actually, yeah, kind of, and I don't know. And now I love Legos. Is there anything that you hyperfixate on?
No, I'm normal.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Just kidding. No, of course. Everything under the sun. Let me think. I'm hyperfixating on giving you like the perfect thing that I hyperfixate on even right now.
Yeah. People pleasing.
Currently, it's people pleasing is definitely one. Well, I'll come back to that. Put a pin in that. I'll be back. One thing, maybe you have this experience, because I appreciate how loosely you do use autism because it's important. It's praxis, which is a term you kids don't know yet. Praxis. It's participating in solidarity with anyway. Just look it up. My girlfriend Jess is also of the autistic variety, and she's very loose with that word, and I love it and I appreciate it. But a lot of people you find aren't. It's weird. They're they still think that it's a term to be feared sometimes, and instead of celebrated, and they don't realize yet that we're better than they are, but. And so my family, maybe, you said you were from South Carolina. So
yeah,
Missouri, they're also like Methodists. So like they're socially conservative is what I'm getting at. And anytime they say the word, or someone in the family says the word autism, or anytime I or my girlfriend say the word autism, I can feel like just like the
room,
you know. And so I appreciate how much you talk about it because it's the future. Autism is the future in the past and the present. And it starts here on Block Party.
Exactly. It begins and ends here. But I know exactly what you mean because I'm like a lesbian, and that word has the same amount of like, everyone's like weird when you say it, but it truly is just a descriptor. Like autistic lesbian, like sounds like like a insult to people, but it's pretty much just like, this is who I am.
Yep.
Yeah, why'd you laugh so hard?
Yeah, well, because I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I said, like, autistic lesbian in front of my family, they go, Ricky. Jeez. Like, they go, stop.
Yeah.
You know, don't cuss in front of the cat.
Company.
That must be difficult. Also, maybe you have fun with that, too. I feel like I kind of have fun with that. If I was an autistic lesbian, if I were so lucky.
Oh yeah, it's something that's it's really funny. It's perfect for comedy.
I was gonna ask. I grew up watching a lot of stand up, and it was like my favorite thing. I actually, when I was like 13, before I did any music, I would like write. I would try to be a comic, and I would like write jokes and stuff, and they were all so bad. I was just saying to my girlfriend, because she's got a couple friends who do stand up, that I want to go to more shows. Where do you do stand up right now generally? Where's your like gym, if you will?
I like the Crow comedy. I like Dry Mouth. I do a lot at Dynasty Typewriter. I kind of got out of it while I was moving, but I'm about to have like a lot more shows, so you should definitely come.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I also want a brief tangent.
You finished?
I think I'm done.
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you so much for being on. What is your review of the set? Was it fun to build?
This set, I'm going to give this set a solid... I'm tough. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a solid 10 out of 10 today because it was perfect. Everything about it was great. There was some human error on my part with this guy. I misplaced some pieces. I accidentally ate a few of them. I just can't see them. They're small. I should eat them. What else am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
And so that happened, but you know, and that should be like an advisory for your show, for your clients. Yeah. Like, you know, you're going to want to eat these, but you shouldn't. Mm-hmm. They're made of hard plastic and they don't biodegrade. 10 out of 10. London.
Would recommend. Also for the postcard, I would definitely recommend. This one is around 496 pieces, and the smaller one is like 280 something. And the smaller one is much more affordable. It's like around $16. So I would recommend getting it. I love these sets. What can I say? And they're super fun. Would not recommend using them as an actual postcard. They will immediately disintegrate in U.S. mail.
Unless you get a spray adhesive, not WD-40, because that is more of like a loosening agent. Yes. It's not good for gluing.
Yeah.
And you don't need to get WD-40. A lot of you are thinking, oh, how do I keep my Legos clean? And you're like, I should get WD-40 because it's like the dust will like slip off. That was a sound, like an onomatopoeia sound for slipping. Mm-hmm. But you can actually get compressed air. It's the same. It's in a can as well. Same exact thing. It's got a little straw.
Or a power washer, you know.
Or a power washer, which might strip off the paint from the hard plastic, but it's about priorities and values.
Cleanliness.
So, with that, London. I've gotten drunk on this same Ferris wheel before, and it was what a night.
Hell yeah.
Syracuse, shout out to you. All right.
And wait, where can people find you and about your new album? Yes.
I'm Ricky Montgomery. If I haven't said that already today, I have a new album coming out in 3 days' time from today's scheduled release day just today, the day that it is today.
Exactly,
September 26th. On the 29th. Ricky 2, the album, Ricky Montgomery's second LP, long play album, comes out finally after many years of waiting.
Thank you guys.
This was a delight. This was great. This was so fun.
Thank you for being on it. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Can I come back on like the 300th episode or something?
Oh, hell yeah.
How much it's grown because, you know, it's been a delight. We're here. Like, this is like the baby steps of the podcast. It's like the good old days. These are the good old days.
Yeah, this is season 1. That like when it becomes like syndicated, you know, it's going to be this is a throwback to like, oh, look at the guests of season 1. And you know, you'll be at the Grammys, you'll be like, I remember, oh my god, when
this is on the Grammys, when you're like the soundtrack like, for Block Party, and against other ones.
Okay. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.
Goodbye.